Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 2. I wasn't actually planning on doing this, and I did review when I was still streaming, and will stream again at some point. I thought it'd be cool to kind of just follow up with this show. And the main reason was because, like last time on reviewing Masters of the Universe Revelation, everyone kind of got upset because He-Man and Skeletor die in the first episode, and then it's basically with Tila and Evelyn and all these people trying to basically figure out what happened with He-Man and Skeletor and the Sword of Power and everything like that. And it's sort of not the He-Man show you expect, and you sort of see all of Eternia change and what happened to them when He-Man disappeared. That was the first part one, and then at the end of part one, He-Man and Skeletor came back, and so then we're getting into part two, and everyone complained about part one because it wasn't marketed correctly. I will say that, regardless of obvious sexist overtones to that criticism, everything like that. There are lots of people who even worked on, I believe there's another YouTuber who worked to promote the Master Universe figures, and he said he didn't agree with how they promoted it because he thinks some of the anger was mostly because of that, and I don't disagree with that actually. But here's the funny thing. Everyone complained they wanted this violent, grown-up He-Man, Master Universe. They were really upset. They weren't going to watch part one of this. They were going to watch these 5 episodes of television, but I did, and I enjoyed them. And then I watched part 2, and part 2 is the violent, awesome He-Man show that they wanted from part 1. If you just stuck with it and watch the setup, you get a really awesome show where He-Man even comes into like a Hulk He-Man at one point, where Skeletor, has the sword and does all this crazy stuff, where Evelyn has the sword, like all these like crazy, violent, awesome, very action-centric episodes of Masters of the Universe all going on in this. And I was like kind of surprised. This is like people who were like, I don't know about those first 5. I was like, you have to watch the second part because it is the thing you wanted. The first part was set up so they could just do this for 5 episodes. Like, oh my god, why? I cannot believe how hilarious it is that no one would sit through the setup, so then they could just have awesome action for an additional 5 episodes. Is literally hilarious. Like everyone's stupid backward ass attitudes stop them from watching the very thing that they wanted. Oh, perfect Master Universe. I love it. But yeah, the Hulk He-Man thing was really cool. Like, he basically decides he's going to do the, I have the power of Grayskull, I have the power thing and all that. But he doesn't have the sword, so he just becomes like a raging, insane person. That I didn't know he could do that. Wow, that was cool. Skeletor having the sword, everything with Evelyn. It was just great. It moves very quickly. You have to watch part 1. Sorry, this makes me laugh because everyone was a dick about it, and then it's like you missed the thing you want to watch. Anyway, I just think it's very funny. It's just hilarious. I was a little kid when Master Universe came out. It is fun for that. It is very watchable. I think these first 5 went down even smoother because it is just quick, awesome. I thought it was very well done. Action, everything like that. But it is sort of like, if you're into He-Man, you'll like it. If you don't, I don't know why you're watching this video or anything like that. But I just wanted to say it is just really funny how the structure of the show, how the reception of the show, because if you like He-Man, maybe just watch these 5, but I think you're ruining the experience, because to really follow all the arcs with Evelyn, with Skeletor, with Tila, with Adam or He-Man and stuff, and it goes like really crazy in these next 5 in terms of the action, in terms of like what they battle over, everything that happens in it. I was a little surprised they got this all done in 5 episodes. I don't know if they're doing more. I couldn't really figure that out. I'm kind of just happy with this. I thought this was a really great follow-up to Master Universe. I thought they did a really great job with it. It made me have fun with the franchise again. It made me like the franchise again. And this is the most I've had fun with the franchise. I will say I like these other part 2 more than part 1, but I think it's because I had like so much fun with part 2 and so much fun with those action sequences. It was just really enjoyable. It's kind of like watching Amazing Sugar Candy as an animated action show, and it was just glorious in that. So if you grew up watching He-Man and stuff like that, I think you'll really like the show. It's actually, I think I like what they did with the voice cast with Henry Rollins in that one role. If it does continue, I think it'll still be like this really enjoyable, awesome, crazy, a fantasy science fiction action show. And I think it's just really wonderful at that. And part 2 was an amazing payoff for a good introduction for that. So if you felt a little butthurt about it, or if you watched and weren't that into it, I would say it definitely pays off with part 2. It really comes together in a way that I was like, holy shit. Like I kept thinking like they just keep fighting. Like that's all they're doing. Like they do some character development, but they're doing a lot of fighting, and a lot of the setup you need to understand to really follow it. So kudos to them. I think Revelation really came together in the end and was just, that fun, crazy animated action show. Maybe of my dreams, because He-Man was never really even like this. But this is kind of the He-Man maybe we'd always like it to be. And in part 2, it definitely 100% delivered on that. So if you would like to let me know what you thought of Master Universe Revelation Part 2, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.